Hello, everyone, and welcome to the part 2 of All-In Starrcast Weekend episode of Geeking Out. Yes, we're keeping that name. Any hoozles. Got the same panel. Becky's mom, El Charloco, is here with us, and we've talked about the build-up to the weekend, the travel to the weekend, but this is the weekend itself. We are going to be talking about the inaugural Starrcast convention and, of course, the show itself. So, really don't know how to format talking about Starrcast because it's just kind of all over the place. So I kind of...
Yeah, I wanted to dig up and find, like, the schedule for that weekend, but...
Right.
No excuse, I just did not do it.
Right. But the one thing I thought that we could do as far as discussing this would be let's talk about what we liked. Let's share the good stories. Then we could share the bad stories of Starrcast. And then we could just go from there. And I'll let you guys take the lead on that because I think I probably had more stuff lined up for the weekend. And a lot of it that did not come to fruition. So I'll let you guys take the lead on the good and the bad of Starrcast.
Okay, well, let's see. For me, one of the good was, and I guess I should ask this before I continue. How did you guys ever go to any major, like, wrestling-specific conventions prior to Starrcast?
Other than TNA Lockdown Fan Fest 2007, no. I mean, I'd gone to Wizard World conventions and Lexington Toy and Comic Con and stuff like that, but I'd never gone to a wrestling convention with the exception of the Lockdown Fan Fest, which that was 07. You could literally meet everybody there for free. You just had to pay for an 8x10, their own 8x10, or pay for a Polaroid. But you could bring your own belt or your own figure, and they would sign it for free. So
that's cool.
It spoiled me for any other convention, wrestling or otherwise, that would come along. But yeah, I've never been to any other wrestling-specific convention. I'd never been to WrestleCon at that point, or Fan Access. Nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I've been going to a Fan Fest in Charlotte for about 10 years, or at least until they stopped running it regularly. And Conrad was a regular attendee of that as well before he did the podcast. So I think he based a lot of what he planned on Starrcast, either based off of that or kind of trying to counteract that or trying to improve on things. And I think Conrad will tell you himself that he did not realize how hard it was going to be to put together a convention.
Yes.
But I will say one of the good things. One of the good things, I'm not sure compared to other wrestling conventions I've been to, not sure if this is because Conrad was very reluctant about it or it just kind of slips through him. But the amount of people you could meet just, in the halls or in the lobby or just around and nobody getting too angry about not charging prices or anything like that. Most of the people I met were just in the lobby.
You're really breaking up. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, that was... I don't know what... That's tech. It's not your fault, but...
Yes, here. Let's see. Do I sound any better?
Yes.
It's still breaking up a little bit, yeah.
That last time when you said, do I sound any better, sounded a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're good now.
All right, well, okay. But yeah, basically I'm just saying you can meet a lot of people in the lobby or a lot of people in the halls, and everyone seemed very chill about it. There was no one really from the staff or the wrestlers themselves that were like, no, you can only talk to me during these times, during these specific times for this amount of money.
I think it was during Starrcast. I was just walking around the lobby one night, and I bumped into Chuck and Trent and took a selfie with them. They were really cool about it.
Yeah, I met them at the bar. They were really...
That's where they were by the bar, and I met them.
Me and Trent talked about chewing, because at the time I was I would chew, and I mentioned how I liked how he did good for us that chewed and showed it wasn't just a bunch of backwoods rednecks that chewed. And then he told me the story of he started chewing because he was at TV and he said Shawn Michaels was at ringside with a big fat dip of chew in his mouth, his cup with his feet up on the announce table, watching like the people workout spots in the ring and try and work with him. And he said he just looked so cool that way that Trent felt the need to start chewing.
And
So
you can't say chew about Starrcast without bringing
Blue
up Blue
Chew.
Chew.
Do you want to have better sex? Do you want your dick to get hard?
Is that how the ad actually goes?
Yes.
Oh my god.
They find some way to talk about this, and like they do like a transition of on some podcasts, like yeah, he was a pretty huge dick. Speaking of huge dicks, Blue Chew. My favorite is Arn Anderson, where he said, "Blue Chew, it'll put a new slant on Spine Buster." But yeah, that's.
Hey, Arn cut some of the best promos last year just hyping boner pills. Let's be honest.
So I get there Thursday, and like what they said was the checkout time, and here I am thinking like, okay, not everybody's gonna be there, but there's gonna be enough of like the smaller people there that I'll get to meet them and kind of like I had a Magnum TA figure, I get to knock Magnum out. This, that, and the other, meet the Wrestle Crap people. I get there and like the show, like it hadn't started yet, so I spent most of my money at the bar drinking Meltzer drivers, aka screwdrivers with a new name. So I did that. Met some people. I met my friend EZ. He was at the bar. He wasn't drinking, but he was just kind of around. I believe that's where I met Charlie.
Yeah, that was around this time, yeah.
Thursday, just like, okay, we're killing time. You'd see certain, like I saw Hangman walking through the lobby along with Marty. Conrad was there. SCU. The WrestleCrap folks brought arcade cabinets of WrestleFest and WrestleMania the arcade game, and they were free to play, and that was fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's how you guys met, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was, that spot right there.
I remember spamming a move as Shawn Michaels against EZ playing as Bret Hart, and a "You Screwed Bret" chant started. So all that happened. I copped a feel with Katie Vick. I was beyond drunk with Blade Braxton of WrestleCraft, and I really because there wasn't a whole hell of a lot of people there, unless the people that were there were doing panels. So there was really nobody on the floor at that time, besides a few people. So I hung out with the WrestleCrap guys the most, and Rosa Mendez was there. Rosa Mendez flipped off Katie Vick in the casket, and then just kind of came and talked to us. So that's cool. Rosa was nice. Simon Gotch was nice. And yeah, that's pretty much Thursday. I spent an ungodly amount of money on orange juice and vodka because it was named after a Young Bucks move, and spent more ungodly money on Miller Genuine Drafts at the cash bar, and got pretty well hammered with Blade Braxton of WrestleCrap, and did lewd things with a mannequin pretending to be a dead person from Kane's life.
Okay.
I didn't grow up with Katie Vick until Friday, so I didn't realize she was sloppy seconds.
Yeah. You are mine, Katie. You got my sloppy seconds on Katie Vick. How do you feel about that? I didn't go
Are
far.
you guys recording now?
Yes, we are.
Oh, I didn't even realize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to do what Joe Gertner did in the casket, so I wouldn't call us tunnel buddies, but yeah.
Oh, God.
This show's not for children, folks.
Oh, man.
So that was Thursday.
Actually, I'd say for Thursday, my biggest takeaway was honestly probably, I feel like, especially Thursday, every panel that day was like a glorious train wreck. There was no way around it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I know we're trying to talk about the good, but we'll talk on the bad. The Thursday.
Oh, I gotcha.
The Thursday, I had a Botchamania meet and greet. And the meet and greet for the Botchamania was supposed to be Ron Funches, the comedian, Tony Schiavone, some guy named the Casio Kid, which I'd never heard of, but hey, it didn't matter, and Matthew. So I get in line for the meet and greet, and I look at the table and I say, "Where's Matthew at?" And the staff member goes, "Oh, he's still in the air from the UK. His plane hasn't landed yet."
Oh, my God.
And I'm kind of feeling like doing the whole the Adam Sandler or something that could have been brought to my attention. Like, because I'm just like, who does that?
Wait, I know that's like information that would have been useful to me yesterday.
Yeah.
Is the line. I've seen The Wedding Singer one time too many.
Yeah. That's just kind of how I'm feeling. You know, and they're like, "Well, you got the other people there," and I'm like, and I actually told the guy, and I said, "Buddy, would you sell a meet and greet with the elite, and then go, oh shit, Cody's not here?
Oh, Kenny's still on his way from Japan."
Yeah, would you do that? No, people would be pissed off. So that was kind of my first instinct of,
well,
oh boy, what might happen with this? So I, after that, bought more overpriced vodka and orange juices and hung out with WrestleCrap guys some more. And I did get a picture with Animal of the Road Warriors.
That's cool.
Nice.
So Friday rolls around. Friday, I know I got as it was planned, was going to be like a really busy day for me. I don't know what your guys' Fridays look like, but for me...
I was at the TGI Fridays thing with the Young Bucks and Marty, and
right.
I got some food, it was actually pretty good. I think the whole thing was like $40. You got it was an all-you-can-eat buffet.
Nice.
You got to meet the Young Bucks and Marty, along with Mrs. Matt and Papa Buck.
Oh, that's cool. That would been...
And so if you got you walked in, you got the autographs from them. You got your food, and as you're sitting around eating, Matt, Nick, and Marty were coming around doing the professional photos with everyone. And Marty
awesome.
Marty was being an absolute ham the entire time. Just there's a group next to us. He's going to take a picture, and it's just they're posing for the picture. He picks up a bottle of ketchup, and he's like actually pouring it into the person's mouth. I'm like, that would have been fun with me. I love ketchup. When they got to me, I stand and take my picture with them, and I did the Kenny Omega gun pose. And as just as I put my hand out in the gun, Marty reaches out like, "I'm gonna break your finger." So in the picture is this awkward face out of Marty as he's reaching to my finger to break it.
Did he break it? Did he actually break your finger?
No, he didn't. I would have been cool with it though. It would have been a great story. Like I go back to work, my hand's in a cast. What happened? Oh well, a wrestler broke my finger taking a picture. It's a normal weekend.
Just a normal weekend.
Yeah. That whole thing was pretty cool. I mean, I got food and I got to meet Marty and the Bucks, and Papa Buck was really cool. Mrs. Matt was a sweetheart.
I met Mrs. Matt at the Nashville, Tennessee Ring of Honor TV tapings, and I met her Thursday when I went to the Young Bucks merch table and bought things from Mrs. Matt herself. So
that's awesome.
I just love how the Bucks are such hustlers that even at their own convention, they would just randomly announce, "Hey, we have our table open if you guys want to buy some merch or autographs."
Yeah, because my friends and I went back to Starrcast last night for TGI Fridays, and we're walking around. The Young Bucks were signing autographs again. I'm like, oh, cool. I mean, I just paid for that a couple hours ago, I think it was like $60 at that point. And I'm like, I just paid $40 and I got food out of it and a T-shirt. And the T-shirt is really cool. It's like a TGI Fridays logo. It says "Fine Japanese Cuisine" on it.
Nice.
Nice.
So the first thing I did on that Friday was I did the promo with Tony Schiavone.
Nice.
And this is the one time where I will say I'm going to give credit. I can't remember the guy's name, but if you remember who you are and you ever stumble upon this, you the man, dude. Well, I see him the night before, or the day before, or what have you, and I say, hey, I've got the brunch with x-pac, but I also have the promo with Tony, and they're really close by. What do I need to do? And he said, come find me tomorrow. I'll make you first, or anybody else that has one of these first. So come find me, and I got you. I'm working that area. I got you, and he did. I found him, and he was like, yes, I remember exactly. Anybody, says anybody else doing an eat and greet at 10:30? And nobody's like, you're first. I shoot the shit with Sean Mooney before it was my turn. Tony gets there. I do my promo. I cut a promo on my wrestler friend Edmund Livewire McGuire. I'm dressed in a suit because I wanted to wear a suit for my promo and wear a suit for the dinner with the Horsemen later that night. In the lobby, I talked to Matt Stryker for like 15 minutes because Matt Stryker's cool like that. In line for the promo, I talked to Bill Apter, who's also a really nice guy. I mentioned my real name that has probably been broken on this channel 1,000 times, and he just
usually by me.
Yeah, or anybody else for that matter. And he just goes, "Oh, good, nice Jewish name, great name," and then walks away. After we talked, I do the brunch with brunch, but it's all lunch food. You'll figure with x-pac, and
nice.
The funniest thing about that, he kind of sits down and he's actually like really taking care of himself. Our brunch food was they had sliders, wings, potato wedges, salad, dessert, and he like orders like himself like steak and eggs and grilled vegetables. Nice. He's like, I'm watching what I'm eating. I'm trying to stay in shape. But we all kind of sit down and he says, guys, thanks for coming to do this. I'm ready, willing, and able to answer any questions that you may have, but please be considerate of a couple things. One, I've had 5 concussions.
Oh my God.
2, I have done a fuck ton of drugs. So he kept that in mind. He was really... He told, we asked kind of standard questions. He was really outgoing. He had his dog there with him, who was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, now I wish I'd gone to that because I love dogs.
Yeah.
I just like animals.
Met somebody there from the UK. We kind of ended up, much like with you guys, just kind of crossing paths and hanging out throughout the weekend.
Yeah. That's how I met. It was me and Charloco there. We met in the meet and greet line for Kevin Kelly.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was about to bring that up. I can't remember. Was that Thursday or Friday?
That was Thursday. That was day 1. And then after that, we just kept bumping into each other. It's like, hey, let's just keep in touch and hang out over the weekend,
Right.
Which I was grateful for because I was there with one of my friends and she was driving me crazy. But that's another story.
Yeah.
We won't go into that because that's a whole nother episode and it wouldn't be fun.
So I kind of do my hanging out and more day drinking on Friday. I mean, you wouldn't be a horseman if you weren't day drinking, right? But the one thing that, and this was, again, I'm telling some good, but the bad of that x-pac, they call them meet and greets, and they were good ideas. Because my thing was, I want to meet him, and I get a meal out of it. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, right?
They were supposed to have, I brought a figure for him to sign, but they had nothing else to sign if you did not bring your own thing. So before the horseman meet and greet, I'm like, oh dear, I better find something with the horseman on it for them to sign. So I go get a really cool Fantastic Four inspired Four Horsemen piece. Basically, day drink the whole day and wait for
That's
the.
fun to be at a convention, isn't it? Like day drinking.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes you're so busy and dehydrated that maybe alcohol's not your best friend there.
Yeah.
Although I was planning on day drinking a lot more that weekend when I thought my hotel was walking distance because I was just gonna like load up my hotel fridge and just keep walking back and forth.
Right.
See, my hotel had a full kitchen. Like I could have cooked my own meals. I had a fridge. And I could have stocked it up with some booze, but I was in the room for maybe a few hours just to sleep and shower.
Yeah.
That was it. The room was like just a place to grab a nap and, wash up after a day of running around a convention.
The Horseman Eat and Greet it was with Tully and JJ. Tully was impressed that I wore a suit, so that was kind of cool. It seemed like a good idea at the time, and the pictures made it look cool, but walking around all day in a suit was not fun.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You covered I think you were just covered in sweat by Friday night.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
It was the closest thing to cosplaying I did. And the Tully and JJ Eat and Greet was really cool. They told some interesting stories about when Magnum was in his wreck, and whatnot, and how the Horsemen had to go to the hospital at 2:30 in the morning to see him because they couldn't be shown having compassion for Magnum TA.
Wow.
So do all that. Actually get to meet Matthew and hung out with Matthew a little bit. He signed my ticket to the meet and greet. Fuck your meet and greet. Ha ha ha. And that leads us, and then I planned Saturday was going to be somewhat of an easy day until the big change.
The Golden Lovers.
The Golden Lovers would be on Saturday now, so I was back at my hotel drunk. And then I'm having to walk back up from the bar going, excuse me, I gotta go to bed now.
They announced it really late Friday, if I remember. I remember messaging, I had to tell Charloco about it, because I didn't even know you yet, geek.
Yeah, well, we met in the lobby, because I remember we found, you said you were talking about Kenny, and I saw the Kenny cosplayer, and I wanted to
that's right, you were the one that told me, because I was really bummed out.
Kenny Omega's over there. I did the Futurama bit. Really? Kenny's over there?
Yes.
Hey, Kenny is over there.
Damn. Well, I was really bummed out that weekend that Kenny was the only member of the Elite I wasn't going to meet. Because I already had the meet with the Bucks and Marty. I was going to go meet Hangman. I bumped into Cody and Brandy in the lobby at Starrcast.
Yeah.
And I was kind of just the whole weekend I was bumming out that I wasn't going to meet Kenny. And I do have a funny story about that when we get to Sunday.
Well, we'll get to Saturday. Saturday is the high highs and the low lows of Starrcast, all in one day.
I wasn't even at Starrcast that day. I got up and I went.
Same.
Right.
I did the Golden. Well, if we're talking about the Friday night incident with the Golden Lovers, I always think it's amusing to mention that I've told you guys I met someone at the hotel bar that night, and we go back to my room, and I feel like this convention is the only place, or was probably the only place where I could get that email in the middle of the night, freak out, and have that not be a deal breaker. Because anywhere else, I feel like if they saw me reaction to that, they'll be like, "No, this is too weird. I'm leaving."
Oh god.
So
meanwhile, on my side, it worked out because then now that she was at my hotel, I was able to get a ride from the hotel to Starrcast to the All Out party.
Yeah, I remember you had asked me to pick up your Okada autograph because you didn't think you were able to make it. So you showed up as I was sitting in Okada's line getting drenched because it was a miserable rainy day.
Oh yeah.
Ugh. I remember at one point they thought they're going to have to cancel because they're expecting some thunder and lightning. And I'm like, no.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I know
Yeah.
It was gonna be an easygoing day, but I had some fun stuff booked for Saturday. So then, whenever they announced, "Oh, hey, Okada is gonna be at the Flip thing," I'm like, "Really?"
Yeah.
After I'd already bought all this other stuff to do on Saturday, but then when they
It was it Flip, Marty, Hangman, and Okada.
right.
The only one I didn't go meet was Flip because I wasn't spending $50 on Flip. Sorry.
Yeah. So me and Charloco here, we end up reconnecting in the Golden Lovers line, you know,
Oh, nice.
and it was kind of like the best that we could with that particular meeting. You know, there's so many people there.
Oh God.
And then I get back in line for Pentagon, get my autograph from Pentagon.
Oh.
And then I immediately run off to the Death of WCW panel. Because I bought a meet and greet for the panel afterwards. And the same guy that I got my Horseman art from, he has a really cool Death of WCW panel picture with Bischoff and J.J. Dillon and Kevin Sullivan and R.D. Reynolds from WrestleCraft, and looks really cool, and I want to get that all signed afterwards. So I sit through the panel, and it was okay. It was nothing to write home about. Oh, and before I forget, I did go to the Jim Johnson panel, and that was really cool before that.
Yeah. Well, I have All Out.
Nice. Yeah.
I think we have some All Out party. At least I have All Out party stories.
But I go up there for the meet and greet along with like two other people, and like Artie's like, you know, all right guys, well I'll see you at my table. And I go, what about the meet and greet? And Artie goes, what?
In true Starrcast fashion.
Like, yeah, the meet and greet with Bischoff and Sullivan and all, you know, we're supposed to be able to get everything signed. And he's like, I was not informed that this was a thing, like this was going on.
That was such a reoccurring theme at Starrcast that weekend. Just so much of the talent were not informed of what they were supposed to be doing.
Like Kelly one, we were supposed to get an 8x10 with him, and it was the whole thing was you would meet him, and you would get an autograph and a recording of you calling the final 5 minutes of Omega Okada at Dominion. So all it really was, you took a picture with him, and you called the last few minutes of the match, and that was it. There was no autograph. Oh. There was no recording. Because my friends back home were like, I want to hear how terrible your recording is. And it's like, well, fortunately, it doesn't exist because they never told him to record it.
The only good part about that whole fiasco was like, I've been kind of seeing RD all weekend, you know, and he kind of said, like, I showed him the picture and how much money it costs, and he's like, oh dear. And he said, hey, come with me. So he takes me like into kind of this green room, and there's Bischoff, and he kind of sees me, he's like, hey, what's going on, man? And RD, who kind of like, I don't know if it was how serious it was or not, had been like kind of publicly feuding with Bischoff leading up to Starrcast. And he's like, Eric, did you hear anything about a meet and greet after the panel? And Eric's like, no. And he's like, well, this young man here, like, I've seen the ticket. There was like, we're supposed to do like a meet and greet. He's like, I didn't even know there was a meet and greet. And he came over here and he's like, come here. He said, come here, bring your picture over. And he signs it, and I take a picture with RD and Bischoff, and I catch Sullivan and tell him the same story, and he's like, yeah, I'll sign for you real quick. I didn't.
That's cool.
But I go to the complaint desk and complain about this, and they said the guy, it was not the nice couple that was there, it was like some other guy, and I said, yeah, I told him the whole thing, and he said like, well, you got your autographs, didn't you?
See, I would have, bolstered them a little bit and said like, no, I didn't get my autographs.
No, I don't like to lie, but I said.
No. In that situation, I would have.
I said to him, so if you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac, and then the McDonald's people don't give you a Big Mac, but someone else that's at the store goes, oh, you want a Big Mac? Here's mine. You can have it. I haven't eaten it yet. That still does not count as McDonald's doing their job and fulfilling their end of the bargain.
See, at least the all-out party went a lot smoother than that.
Yeah.
That did
the fun thing is, because of the Golden Lovers getting switched over, I had to miss a Lex Luger meet and greet, which I'm even more salty about now that he's, the greatest of all time, as told by OSW Review, but that's besides the point. But I sent an email to Starrcast going, hey, because of this, like after the whole convention was over, hey, can I get my money back for Lex Luger because of the Golden Lovers? And they said, no, we only offered refunds on the Golden Lovers, not Lex. You could have still gone to the Lex, and we could have refunded you the Golden Lovers. And I'm like, you were ready to give me back $125 for the Golden Lovers, but you're not ready to give me back $30 for Lex Luger.
Well, that makes no sense. That's Starrcast. That's
Starrcast.
Isn't running anymore.
That is Starrcast. So, anything else from Saturday?
Well, we did the All Out party, which was actually pretty cool. It was pretty well organized, but Pro Wrestling Tees was running it, not Starrcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I do have my Hangman story from that one.
Go ahead and tell your Hangman story.
Yeah. So it was right in the middle of the whole, Hangman's a murderer bit, Hangman wears your shoes and all that. And I was like, I know I'm going to be like the 100th person to do this over the weekend, but I'm totally going to ask Hangman where's his shoes. Because Hangman was completely committed to it. He was not wearing shoes.
Barefoot everywhere.
And I was kind of grossed out by it, especially at All Out, because the thing was in the parking lot at the Sears Center. And I see him walking out to his table with no shoes on. And I'm just like, oh, God, please, I hope there's no broken glass or anything dangerous.
He's got Hobbit feet.
What?
Got Hobbit feet.
He has to have Hobbit feet, especially after that. So I got up there, and he was really cool about it. We were talking. I get up, he said hello, and talking, and he asked what my name. Nobody can actually spell my name, so I actually have to tell people how to spell it. It's really annoying. So it's
DECKY apostrophe.
Well, my real name is.
I kid.
Shut up. So as he signed 8x10, it's like, okay, this is it. Go for it. And I sit there. I lean over. I go, hey man, where's your shoes? And he just went from like the nice, smiling Southern gentleman, and he just gave me this look of like, I'm going to rip your head off. And he looks up at me real serious. He's like, don't you worry about my shoes. Don't worry about my shoes, okay? Don't ask. Like, he got real serious. And he's like, don't worry about my fucking shoes. And I'm like, yes, this is what I wanted. So as he's getting up, he walks over and we're going to take our photo. He comes over and he goes, you're going to take a picture with a murderer. Aren't you afraid of taking a picture with a murderer? I'm like, nah, I do it all the time. It's a normal Saturday. He went right out of like his normal, nice self right into this, this murderer character he's doing on Beanie Elite. So Hangman's commitment to his gimmick.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he was I think he has
him on Thursday. He's like walking through, and I just remember like, hey man, know you're busy, but big fan of your work. It's like, oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, he's a total sweetheart. But the second I asked about his shoes, man, it totally flipped. It was hysterical.
Method acting.
That's the highlight of the party.
Oh, yeah, he was a theater major.
Yeah, I believe that.
Actually, cool. I had to go get Marty Scurll's autograph for one of my friends. And Marty must have remembered me from the Fridays the day before he gets up. He's like, how are you? And he gave me a hug, so I'm like dying because Marty Scurll hugged me. And yes. I've met Marty like 5 times. That's one of my favorite to meet because he's such a sweetheart. He always gives hugs. And I think he remembers me at this point. Probably feels like I'm stalking him.
And you gave him a death card.
A death card, yeah. But that's for a different episode. We gotta save that story.
What story is this?
The sympathy card. We gotta save that for a different time.
Oh God, that was a good one. That was one of my prouder moments.
Like, share, and subscribe to eventually hear that story.
Yes. We have many stories from New York.
Oh yeah. So that's Saturday. There's the clusterfuck. There's the show in the evening. We'll get to that. Any memories from Sunday?
Oh, I have the ultimate Sunday story.
Well, go. You tell your Sunday story, and I'll tell mine.
It was a Starrcast screw up, but it actually benefited me completely. One of my friends was at the convention also, and he had a ticket for the Golden Lovers on Saturday. So he went to the Golden Lovers meet and greet. They never scanned his ticket. So Sunday, Kenny Omega decides I'm going to still show up during this meet and greet time, and I will sign for anybody that didn't come on Saturday. Unfortunately, it was just him. Coda had already left to go back to Japan. So my friend takes his ticket, goes back to the Kenny Omega meet and greet, and meets Kenny again. They still didn't scan his ticket. So I'm sitting in the hotel lobby, and I had just been texting with Charloco there, and I was talking to my other friends, and I was saying, yeah. And I was really bummed. It was the last day of the convention. The show was over, and I was really bummed because I wasn't going to meet Kenny, and he's my favorite member of the Elite. And then my friend that had this ticket texts me, and he goes, check your email. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? So open it up, and takes me to this app on my phone, the Eventbrite where the tickets were, and I see Golden Lovers meet and greet, and I was like, holy crap. And at the time I got the ticket, Charloco shows up, and I'm like, hi, how you doing? I've got to go run and meet Kenny Omega, because at the time I got the ticket, his meet and greet was practically over. Suddenly I had to run. My short, out-of-shape, fat ass is running down this hallway, through a crowd of people, trying to get to the Kenny Omega meet and greet. I get there, and I'm, like, out of breath. I'm, like, probably going to have a heart attack between, oh, my God, I'm going to meet Kenny. Oh, my God, I'm out of shape, and I just ran a mile. And I ended up being the last person into Kenny's meet and greet.
Nice.
And they still didn't scan. And they still didn't scan my ticket, even though I was. they never scanned my ticket.
Should have just kept handing it off, seeing how many people could have gotten away with it.
You know what? I actually thought.
My friend Nick didn't get to meet Kenny. We should have tried that with him on Sunday.
Honestly, if it hadn't been the end of his meet and greet, I would have done that. But I walked up to Kenny, one of the handlers goes, "All right, last one." So I get up there, and he said something to me, and I think I was in such a state of shock that I don't even know what he said. I don't even know what I said. I probably said something really dumb and stupid because I'm really awkward in those situations. But that was a Starrcast script that benefited me, because then I got to meet the one wrestler I really wanted to meet that weekend. And I was really unprepared for it, because I wasn't even wearing a Kenny Omega shirt. I was wearing my AJ Styles Bullet Club shirt. So one thing I've noticed with Kenny, if you wear some of his shirts, and it's one he particularly likes, he will comment.
Oh, yeah. Like, I wore his Final Fantasy shirt when I met him last, so.
Yeah. So the first time I met him, I was wearing his Bullet Club Terminator shirt that had just come out, and I might have spent a small fortune to get it from Japan on time to meet him. And he commented on that. Yeah.
See, for me on Sunday, like, I was originally... Like, that weekend, after Saturday, I was so over Starrcast.
Oh,
like, I was just so like, fuck this thing, I'm done. And I had a Cody meet and greet, which I bought because I'd never gotten a picture with Cody without my ex-girlfriend being there with me. So I'm like, no, I want a picture with Cody without my ex. So, but I'm kind of thinking, you know what? I'll sell the ticket. I don't know if I really want to do it. Then All In, the show happens, and I'm like, nope, I gotta meet Cody after that one. That was way too awesome. So I go there to meet him, and he has to go away, like him and Brandy. It's him and Brandy. They have to leave to do the live shot of Brandy thing and the like cigar smoking thing.
He had a cigar thing, and she had a mimosa drinking things. My friend went to that.
Yeah. So when they get back, they feel so bad that they made us wait. They said, all of our merchandise is $10.
Nice. Well, my friend went to the mimosa thing. They were giving out the American Nightmare socks. I almost stole her American Nightmare socks because they were so nice and warm, and I'm like, damn it, I can flip her a nice warm pair of socks.
Cody was awesome. He had the title belt there. It was great. And that was at the end of every convention now, especially because of being the Elite. I always just imagine the sad piano music. And, it was really
I was thinking that too.
Really much at the end of that weekend, even as bad as Starrcast was and as frustrating as it was, we're stepping in Nick's car to head back down south. Like, I'm just really...
Yeah, I remember. We're all two sweeting outside the hotel.
Yeah.
We were leaving.
Yeah, and it's like,
oh, yeah.
We have just kind of that, well... It's like, this is over. It was great. We loved it.
Do you guys like that video?
Yeah.
It was just like BTE 200. We're all sad at the end,
Yeah.
sad music. As much as Starrcast being a complete train wreck, it was still fun. I think it was a great idea, just the execution was really poor.
It was very much. It was paid with the best of intentions. Like everything, the way they wanted to do things was paid with good intentions. But you found out that there's a reason why conventions don't do things that way.
Because
it don't work. You know, the lot that like what it said on the website was they want to pre-sell all the meet and greets because that way then they know that they can't. You won't be standing in line for hours and then be told, okay, guys, Cody or Kenny or the Bucks have to go, and you're just wasted your whole day. Yeah. On the flip side of things, here's my infamous Joey Ryan story. There's Joey Ryan on the floor, not a soul at his table, and I'm not knocking Joey Ryan. He just at that particular time did not have a soul at his table. And I go up there, and his handler goes like, hi, she's really nice. She goes like, sir, can I please see your ticket? I'm like, ticket? I have money in my pocket, and there's nobody here. I'm gonna give it to. It's like, oh no, sir, this is a ticketed meet and greet. I'm like, ticketed meet and greet? We're on the showroom floor. I have money.
I will give Joey Ryan money.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I'm sorry, sir. I understand that, but for this one, you have to have a ticket. I'm like, ticket? I have money. Joey Ryan would like my money. I'm very sorry. Like they're selling the tickets up there in the front of in the lobby. And she I think she knew that this was dumb, but
yeah,
she had her job to do.
A lot of people working there probably thought things were really stupid, but they had to follow the rules. And if they said bent the rules for you, they had to do it for everybody else, and it would have been a mess.
So, but as bad as that was, I ate lunch with x-pac. I had dinner with the Horsemen. I met Cody Rhodes after probably what could be his greatest match and probably the most special wrestling moment I ever witnessed in person. I met Kota Ibushi. I met Kenny Omega. I met the WrestleCrap guys. I met Eric Bischoff. I met you guys.
That's the highlight of the weekend for me. It's like,
oh yeah, same.
Like being part of All In and meeting the wrestlers, but like I met you guys, and you're kind of like my little brothers at this point.
Aww.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end the Starrcast portion on a high note, and end this episode on a high note. Because when we come back, yes, we've jumped around, but we are going to discuss the show itself. And I went to WrestleMania weekend last year, went to the G1 Supercard, went to TakeOver, went to All Out, and still none of this compares to this particular show. So stay back with us.
No show ever compared to All In. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah. And we will discuss that next time on Geeking Out with the Athletic Geek.